Welcome everybody back to Friend or Foe, Week 2, Day 1 of the Heroic League. Game 3, all we have on the blue side, Universal Basic Income, and on the red side, Team Spear. My name is Whirler, and casting alongside me today is Thurocles.
What's up, everyone? I'm back. I've got loads of knowledge to drop on you because I have all the Season 2 information. Oh, yeah, that doesn't apply here. Let's talk about some very big, hot takes on these two up-and-comers right here, YUBI and Spear. I don't know where to start. Honestly, the first day I watched YUBI play, I was skeptical, and that was back in qualifiers day 1. Day 2, they came out, and then literally since the season started, they've shown nothing. But I can't even describe what I saw between yesterday, and the first time I seen them play. They have just gone up astronomically, and I don't know if it was nerves, but I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Definitely so, and showing out strong in Week 1. They ended the week 2-0. It's for a fresh team into the league. That's definitely nothing to look away from, as they are going to lock in a first pick Jinx matched by the Hecarim on the other side. Let's see what they choose for pick number 2. Definitely throwing out the solid picks, no real kind of flex picks coming out from either side in the first sort of draft, as it looks like a Syndra hover is going to happen in the second side. Definitely a very interesting first round of the draft there.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked by the Syndra pick for two reasons. Like, one, you don't really see Syndra unless it's like a very specific reason. So I'm assuming this reason in Spear's head must be Jinx, but I don't know if that's quite enough to quantify picking that right away. But also, like, the other reason that it's surprising is that it's literally in their first round, so they're leaving open a lot of tools for you to be able to start picking if they want to focus this mid now. You know, Syndra, she's pretty strong, but she's not very mobile, so you could definitely just already start to pick apart something just from that first rotation.
Absolutely, and it's already starting to be responded to with Galio and Morgana being picked for 2 and 3 on the side of Yuumi. It's looking like they want to already dissuade Team Spear from putting any more resources into magic damage this game. Any sort of engage, any sort of bursty magic damage, they kind of want to hammer down on that immediately and dissuade them away, as it doesn't really dissuade them away too much, as the third pick for Team Spear is going to be an Alistar as we go into our second ban phase.
Yeah, so kind of thinking what's left available then, Alistar, what's it going to pair well with? So you've already taken, Jinx off the table on one side. I'm probably thinking that the other thing we've seen a lot so far is Tristana, and Tristana being able to sit back is probably going to be helpful, especially with the Galio coming through, and, literally just popping a Morgana or not having to worry about her shield in general. So that's kind of where I'm starting to think that would head towards. What do you think? What's on the table in your head?
I personally agree with the Tristana pick. I think Tristana is going to be an ideal 2v2 into Jinx Morgana. Definitely other options as well. Morgana is more like a catch trade sort of a champion, so something with a spell shield to counteract that would be well, as maybe a Sivir, maybe even something rather safe as well. Plays in the back line, you got a Varus, as it looks like Sivir is going to be hovered on Team Spear, so going for that spell shield like I was saying.
Okay, yeah, so their plan is to just not get caught. They're going to push the zoom button with that Hecarim, just the Ghost Sivir ult, and we're going to see him literally glitch from his base to Baron. I mean, but literally it's going to be insane. And I think that's going to be really cool in the fact that it's going to be able to catch this Jinx. The big thing is they aren't going to have... Their obstacles is definitely now getting their big power pick Jinx around the map. And I think if Spear is careful, that's exactly their way to really close this game out, and just making sure anytime those rotations are unclean, immediately capitalizing on it. And their jungler, I remember correctly last week, they played Hecarim, and they were somewhat messy, but they were still all on the same page, where literally, I don't remember who it was, but they saw someone literally in the top side of blue at their blue buff, and they all Hecarim just ghosted from his mid tower over. They were committed to it, And if they clean that up, especially this week, I think that is going to be really like crucial in watching how this game plays out.
Absolutely, and it's a very interesting turn of events here. It's actually going to be it actually looks like it's going to be a flex between the Morgana and the Lulu here, picking them out. It might be Lulu mid, might not be, could be Morgana mid. That could go either way. Looks like it's going to be who's the jungler going to be on Team Yumi? Is that going to be a Malphite jungle?
I guess it would have to be, unless they're doing some weird Morgana jungle. Is that a thing anymore?
I think it can definitely work, but I don't think it will be too good. However, definitely looking to they wanted to flex it, I guess, around the Sivir spell shield, giving Jinx Lulu more of a trade kind of all in, which doesn't really benefit Sivir at all. So it's going to give the bot lane a little bit of trouble, but where they're going to put their champions, that's a good question, as Mordekaiser is going to be locked in for the final pick of this draft.
I'm not sure where this is going, but let me ask you this as we're getting ready to jump onto the Rift. What is your prediction? Who's going to take this game? In my opinion, I really think that YUBI is going to, even though I have no idea what their plan is, I really like what I've seen from Jeff Godgamer and Utility Monster in particular, that I think that they're going to be able to execute this time a lot better.
I would have to agree. I don't know too many of these players personally myself. However, the hype around Jeff Godgamer himself kind of gives me good expectations to see a great play come out in this game. They have a good comp centered around the Jinx, not too much leaving Jinx open in a team fight. You have a very strong wall, as well as two very good peeling supports, as in the Morgana and Lulu, to keep this Jinx doing damage in a team fight. I think whether or not you are as beefy as a frontline as Spear may be, towards the later parts of the game, as 25-30 minutes come up where we get our items, it's looking to be like this Jinx is going to be set up for success.
Yeah.
As here we go into game number 3, and it's looking like it's going to be a good one, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Morgana jungle. Very interesting pick to pick into a competitive tournament draft, but also shows a little bit of confidence coming out from Universal.
I would agree. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed. I was kind of hoping for some UB invade with that Morgana, but that's all right. I was gonna bet you like, I don't know, like 3 acorns and maybe 5 push-ups off stream, but it's too late. It's already over. Time's passed. You know, like.
What's done is done. As we get a little calm 5-point start of the game, looks like it's going to be both junglers going to the bottom side of the map to start off their routes. Morgana herself actually does not look like she's going to be going down there. She's sitting in the bush. Usually junglers would like to sit top side and then venture to the bot side, as red team is going to take advantage of that and get a nice ward on the Raptor camp to give them information on where Morgana is going to be clearing, as she is going to be solo starting the blue buff.
Oh, I mean, if we didn't know the lanes before, now we don't know what their plan is. So it's kind of interesting. I'm not totally sure. I'm assuming she's going for a full clear, because I feel like if the Morgana tries to make a gank happen on the bot, it's just not going to be very practical. Like trying to engage on this Alistar, just knocking you away. I mean, you have your spell shields, but I don't think they're going to be able to pick up something too easily.
Alrighty, as a couple trades coming out from the Lulu, getting picks autos onto the Sivir, punishing her for that CS. Only one so far out of the 3 taken. It's looking pretty rough for Sivir in this early part, as it is going to be Jeff Godgamer and Brian getting level 2 first and a couple more minions. And we're going to see maybe if we can get a polymorph come out, as Lulu does throw out some damage onto the Alistar. There's the level 2. Can we get an engage going on? That is going to be a lot of damage. A W from the Jinx with more auto attacks coming from picks. That's going to be half health on the Sivir, forced to pop that potion.
Yeah, so kind of like what I'm seeing here, they're doing a really good job of controlling the wave. I don't think they had any vision to support the decision to know that Hecarim's moving topside. I mean, other than just like the natural assumption. So they're able to like really just kind of bully these guys and make them keep back. These Jinx rockets are coming through just nice enough, and I'm just kind of digging it. I feel like they don't have to worry too much as long as they don't give up kills and let Jeff Godgamer get ahead. they're going to be sitting all right. Kind of like a small note, though, on the side of Team Spear, is they do currently have a sub in their AD carry role. Hayam Lishi is currently taking the spot for Lin Sanity.
Alrighty, and inversely on the top side of the map, it is going to be Mordekaiser with not only a 10 CS lead, but also getting some vision into YUBI's jungle. I'm hoping to potentially, make some plays, spot out the Morgana, knowing that they started, or knowing with the Raptor ward from earlier, that she did end up showing on. Kind of interesting to get some vision on there, knowing that Morgana was not around the red buff at the beginning of the game should have told Mordekaiser where exactly she was. However, vision is vision, and putting the insurance on Hecarim getting that top crab is definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a trade coming out. Malphite going to get pulled in, still doing a lot of damage to Mordekaiser. It's going to be a semi-even trade, keeping the CS lead, however.
Yeah, it's kind of strange to me to watch that. Maybe he's trying to force TP, from Freelancer to make him back. And
ooh, good route from Morgana jungle coming in for the gank, coming around the entire mid lane, getting some good damage onto the Syndra, forcing out a potion, and that'll be about all.
It seemed kind of awkward to me. It seemed like Utility Monster was all about it, and then like after the stun hit, Civlock was like, "Oh yeah, I'm here too." It didn't seem very coordinated. Kind of awkward, but I mean, it's whatever. Hopefully, we'll see something else happen. In my head, I do think the most of the action or success the junglers would find would be around the mid lane, just because again, I feel like it's very hard to engage anywhere on the spot lane. In top lane, I guess you could probably bully this Mordekaiser pretty hard if that's what Utility Monster wants to do.
Ooh, Hecarim showing on a ward, does see it and is able to clear it. Was looking to do something in the bot lane. Not going to be successful.
Yeah, now we're starting to get that tension now, even though red side was pushed in before. Now it's kind of that point where we have to start taking control back or matching in some way. Otherwise, you're going to start giving up the dragon prio. I mean, I don't imagine Morgana is going to have a lot of success trying to solo it. But, I mean, between that and then if Civlock can control his wave too, that's going to be just a really easy macro play that they could execute. And that's one of the things I have seen from YUBI that they've been really good about, is just their macro in general.
It was very smart of YUBI's bot lane to back off there and force red side to push that wave in so that they're not too much in danger. They're back in the middle of the lane, although Hecarim is no longer in the danger zone. I do want to ask, I talked about this last week with the previous Jinx we have seen in this tournament. Not this one specifically, the Mythic League, is the difference between Jinx taking Conqueror versus Lethal Tempo. The previous one took Conqueror, this one took Lethal Tempo. I'd like to ask for your input, as we are getting a gank coming in from the Hecarim. This is going to be Malphite with the ulti, but not enough mana to use it just yet. It is going down for the first blood. Might have had enough mana, might have not mattered. It is going to be Malphite cutting his losses, not using any of his resources, and will just take the death. But back to the Jinx.
Yeah, back. Don't mean to brag or anything, but I did pentakill last season on Jinx.
There you go.
That said, Conqueror was the hot thing back then, and I have not played a lot of League of Legends since then. But what I will say is that I think Lethal Tempo is pretty good, just in the fact that with these the changes with the rockets, that'd probably be the way that I would go too. In those few minutes where you can do that and like get the rockets out and the AoE damage, I think that's going to be what trades the team fight bigger. So if that's what their play is, to fight around objectives, and if Jeff Godgamer's positioning can stay up good, I think that's more than a fair reason to be taking that.
Hecarim going for the invade on the Morgana, punishing her for existing in her own jungle. The Gromp is going to be contested as Malphite is going to ulti onto the Hecarim. It is going to be Hecarim actually going to be the one to almost go down. Not going to be enough though. He will ulti out. And it is actually going to be the Syndra who's going to get locked in and killed as a good route coming onto the Mordekaiser. He is not going to get out of this one unscathed. He will take a little bit of damage, but it does look like he will be walking out. Oh, gets knocked out by the Galio and the root. Never mind, it is going to be Orphic taking the death. Very interesting invade coming from the Hecarim. Good support behind it, but it wasn't enough. They weren't able to get out, as in the bot lane. It's looking like that Jinx and Lulu are going to be going down. Lulu's going to go down to the Alistar, or actually to the Sivir damage, rather. Sivir Q coming out. Almost running a train on them, as you can hear in my background, but not enough. Was not enough, actually. Lulu was the one to go down. They did have minion advantage, too. I wonder how that happened.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that just happened, so I'll try to go over my thoughts on them quickly. Oh, is she trying to like set up a rocket here?
Oh, maybe. She does have
Maybe.
mana for it. Is she going to have the vision or the potential Sivir?
All right, I
Not
think she's
really
gonna let
playing
it go.
to defend it if she does throw it. Looks like Jinx is not going to.
Yeah, I like that they were on the same page that they were committing to a target. However, I don't think you're going to cut through an Alistar faster than they're going to cut through a Lulu. Lulu's playing really far up, and more importantly, I didn't see the like Knight come through from Lulu, so that heal got its full effectiveness out of keeping Alistar up. So there's a lot of play in that small subtleties, but I think that would have gotten them the kill, or at least made it so that they would not have been nearly in as much danger. Meanwhile, in the top,
Ooh.
in regards to the top fight, the main thing that I'm not sure what's going on is I don't know exactly the thought process between trying to go into the jungle of a Galio Malphite. These two characters literally are going to push R and come way faster unless you plan to instantly blow up. But I mean, Morgana is going to like spell shield most any CC that you're trying to get off anyway. So you need to make sure that these laners are in a position that they absolutely just can't come, whether they're going to miss something for that or not. And because of that, again, that's what happened. Morgana didn't die instantly, and then Civlock pushed R, and Freelancer came and pushed R too, and they were just there in an instant, and they didn't have to burn teleport for that. In the end, Civlock did end up going just to go back and get mid, just because the CS difference is starting to pile up a little bit. But I don't think this idea of invading Morgana, even though she's weak independently, is necessarily the right play.
Absolutely, and that was a great response from the Galio. Did use the ulti to get there almost immediately and force the Hecarim ulti out, so that also already was a down person. Not looking too bad as before. Oh, Hecarim coming in. That's going to be a flash knockup from the Alistar into the Hecarim. Devastating charge. It is going to be Jeff God Gamer in a sticky situation. Does blow the flash, but it's not going to be enough. We'll go down the Sivir. Inversely, we got Malphite coming in with the ultimate. Does not have the spell shield to get away from this. Sivir will go down to that as well. And here's the Morgana to pick up a second kill for YUBI. It is not going to be the trade they wanted. A very good engage starting out from Team Spear, but definitely good response coming out from Yumi.
Yeah, that seemed to be going really hard in Spear's favor there for a minute. I'm not quite sure why Syndra wasn't able to like get into a position with her team coordination to be able to teleport down, just because of that situation happening where Malphite was just had all the time in the world to be able to come down and make a play happen. But I mean, the thing I am seeing, or that liking that I'm seeing, is that teams are at least being proactive and they're not sitting back and just like some matches we've seen last week where it just seemed like teams almost laid over at one point. I really like that there's things happening with that. Okay, they did that. Let's at least do this, and we've seen that at least objectively too. And wow, they are really just trying to bully Sergeant Diddle today.
As Morgana comes to push the Syndra out and help push the wave under tower. They did take the dragon a couple minutes ago. However, it is going to be Team Spear looking to take this Rift Herald as a response. They do have the Alistar up in the top lane. Sivir's alone, and that's going to be Yumi with the response to this as well. They understand that the Sivir's alone. They don't have the minion wave, but they're just going to send 4 people onto the Sivir, tank it, and that is going to be her going down. And there's going to be no trade kill going on here. It's actually going to be 1 for 0. Great response from Yumi to understand that they invested their resources into the top side, so it's time to make a play in the bot side. Very well played by Yumi.
Yeah, I liked it. Again, just a good decision overall making. The only thing Sivir has had flash, alt, and heal. I feel like they definitely could have made it back to their second tier tower. Unless there was a teleport play that was, again, trying to be coordinated, maybe something could happen there. But again, it just didn't seem to come through from Syndra. So I feel like we're being overconfident or too
Hecarim coming in from the behind, looking to drop the Rift Herald and just take the tower, but Malphite's not going to accept this. He will ulti both of them, almost take down the Hecarim, and they will take the tower, so that's no longer an issue. Malphite's looking to get out of this one. Is not going to, though. He is going to go down, get shut down, actually, by the Mordekaiser. He tried with all his might to keep that tower, but it was not enough. That will be the first tower of the game going to Team Spear. Very well played, Rift Herald. Well, there's very, very good decisions coming out from both teams. Where they invested their resources, they have both gotten something out of it.
I would agree. Just a very small, like 2k lead going over the side of Spear currently, and that's only because of the first tower. but that's easily changeable up in the next fight. So that's really well. The thing I'm kind of starting to think about here and how the game's playing out is what's going to happen here in a little bit of the late game. I think the two players we're looking at to really be watching is going to be Jinx and Mordekaiser. I think these are the people that if they don't push their buttons in the right order, is really what's going to decide the match.
And Mordekaiser, as well as Sivir, already bumping out their first item. We got the Rift Maker on Mordekaiser and an Essence Reaver. Very early Essence Reaver, too. I believe they've had that for maybe a few minutes now, so maybe, let's say, a 10-minute Essence Reaver? That's decently early, despite Jinx keeping up in CS, missing those 2 kills. So the 600 gold made a huge difference in the 80 carry buys.
Yeah, and also, the difference is
Jinx should get her Gale Force on this one. Maybe even Kraken. Either or would be perfectly fine, as it is the Gale Force. Too much to dodge in this game.
Yeah, okay, there we go. I was going to say, I feel like Jinx should have had some more money just because they also took the tower in the bottom lane. Or the plates off.
The plates.
Yeah, exactly.
As the Cloud Dragon is spawned, and it is Hecarim here first. Take half the damage that Lulu has. They are going to start it. They have all 5 here, as all 5 of Team Yuumi are going to be showing up as well. We got ourselves a fight, ladies and gentlemen, as it is Alistar going to knock up the Spell Shield, but Malphite coming in, as well as the Hecarim. Everything's going ham. We got Sivir as well as Jinx pumping out damage on both sides. It is going to be Morgana going down first as Red Team goes to scramble away. There's going to be 2 going down on Yuumi. The numbers advantage is on Team Spear's side. A good pull coming in from the Mordekaiser. It's going to be Jeff God Gamer in a bad spot. He is not positioned well at all. The Flash almost coming up too, did not have it at the current moment. He is going to be out of position and he will go down, and this will be Team Spear's Dragon.
That was actually kind of close as far as like what could have been. Jeff God Gamer just came up in the back a little bit late, was getting some really beautiful autos off, but then his front line went down and he just lost vision. So all these autos just couldn't, like, they were either canceled or just lost vision completely. And so like the first half of the fight was beautiful, and then just no DPS after that is kind of what happened there. So
that's usually what happens until you get your second or third item on Jinx. You kind of need that attack speed to get yourself rolling. You have damage pretty much at all points of the game. It's just getting that damage out and doing it in a timely manner. You don't really get that until you get your Berserkers and at least maybe your Rudan / Rapid Fire, whichever one you prefer.
Yeah, I just mean like if they dropped a ward, particularly a weak ward, and then Jinx could have had the vision to keep getting those autos out. So that was just like a really small thing, but it made a huge difference overall in that fight.
As it is going to be Lulu taking the 2 pink wards that Team Spirit Conley left behind. A nice bouquet of flowers for her. As it is going to be Jeff God Gamer and the Lulu looking to put some pressure on this bottom tower, look to take it. Mordekaiser is going to do his very best to take this one down, throwing out abilities, but they are going to be dodged. Clearing the wave, it is going to be enough to back them off for this wave. But will it be enough for future waves? They're going to try very hard to get that first tower in the bot lane, or the first tower for them in the bot lane. Lane phase has not ended for the blue side, apparently, as it appears the Sivir and Alistar are looking to make some roams happen. Sivir getting some pushing in the mid lane, maybe looking to take some towerage after that. Rift Herald is coming up in about 50 seconds, looking to potentially make a top play. Will Jeff God Gamer Lulu be in there in time to respond? Alistar in the river is looking to be a little bit caught out, actually. Hecarim is off to the side, but that is a 3 for 2 at the current moment, as another train is coming in and another train is going through this Alistar. Forced to bless the flash is not enough to kill him. He will get out alive. Not invest too much resources, but Mordekaiser pulling in the Galio is going to get taunted up, take a little bit of damage through that shield. Is not going to be enough to cause any sort of a fight, and it is going to be the stalemate with the crab going to Team U.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting to watch. Oriri just kind of got caught out there, and then I think the most entertaining part about that was like Hecarim was just kind of like didn't really engage, just kind of was like walking with him, just almost like, I don't know this guy, just going about my business. Hopefully you make it out, buddy. And he did, so to his avail, that was really well. Good flashes and dodging this Jinx zaps and all that. But I'm really kind of...
Hecarim jumping in on them with the Ghost is going to be Jinx actually getting one shot. Very well played with the Hecarim ult. And it is going to be Mordekaiser with the TP. alting the, what is that? That was the Morgana, is going to do the ulti Zonias. It is not going to be enough. She will go down immediately after. Does have the flash, so she actually will not. This is going to be Lulu actually getting run down. And will Morgana be able to take out? Yes, they do not chase. And they go for the second tier tower in the mid lane. Very, wow, we got, this game is closer than I would imagine. As in the, yeah, it's going to be a solo kill in the top lane as well for Malphite. He's going to walk into the minions, and that melee minion, it actually wasn't enough to kill her. It was actually the flash Q from the Malphite. So a little bit of a trade kill, actually, for that. Not too terrible. But it is going to be a second-tier tower coming down for Team YUBI and going to Team SPE.
Yeah, you have to flash Q because flash plays are better for the highlight reel. So that's what I would say.
Right.
I'm shook. What's with this whole let's actually take objectives things? Do you think that wins the game? I wanted to watch you chase in the jungle and get an ace, but okay, fine.
Right.
To be professionals, I guess we can do that too.
Galio also getting a bot tower for Team Yumi, so it's a kind of even that trade out, but it's still 2 towers for 1. And a Rift Herald, second Rift Herald, going back to Team Spear. It's carrying both Rift Heralds this game. Team Spear came to play today.
They really did. I'm really liking what they're doing, and I think the reason they're doing it is because they realize they're on a clock. If they let these disengage keeps happening between the Lulu and the Morgana, then it's going to give Jinx enough time to be able to be a big factor. So Spear is really just accelerating the pace. They're making things happen between the gank and bot, between their plays mid, where they just saw Jinx a little bit too far forward. Big Brain literally just pushed, his ghost. All was like, nope, that's not allowed, and then made a big play off that. Got the Rift Herald. So they're able to really just keep their foot on the gas in this game, and that's what's going to accelerate in the next part. So as long as they don't make a misplay, I think they can close this out before that window that Jeff God Gamer is going to get to come back in.
Alistair wanting that pink warded, but there he is going to get warded off of it. No pink ward for you, Mr. Cow, as it's looking like blue team going to circle around the dragon before it comes up in 20 seconds, looking to get there first. All right, both teams are present, and it's looking like we're going to get another one of those banger dragon fights, as the Vision game is looking to be won by the blue team. This whole river and jungle in general, it's looking pretty dark for Team Spear, as the dragon is in, and Morgana is getting pulled in, losing half of her health instantaneously. Is there going to be an engage sought out, as both teams are just looking to pull the trigger, but haven't just yet? Malphite very far in the front, maybe looking to get one of those ultimates going in, as Galio getting a taunt onto Mordekaiser. Alistair is going to push the Malphite away, but Malphite's going to knock 2 up again. It is going to be Galio responding to that knockup with another, and it is going to be Morgana and Syndra trading a kill. It is going to be Hecarim going down. That's both junglers, and Jinx is online, and Jinx is pumping out damage. That's going to be a triple kill coming out for her, chasing into the jungle for the Sivir, but it's not going to be enough. That is going to be the call off for the fight, and that is going to be Jeff God Gamer running it into Team Spear's heads.
Yeah, I would say on this, let's take a look exactly what Galio's doing. Galio is literally peeling these off like a madman, making sure nobody is going to get into this range, and Jeff God Gamer is just cleaning it from the background. Just absolutely unchallenged, auto. This part here's a little bit illegal where they just stand on top of the Mordekaiser, but that's okay. Still, ultimately, a triple kill is nothing to, criticize. The way that they're playing this game, especially from a deficit in that fight, is fantastic. We are now tied in the score, closing the gold lead by 3,000. I imagine that's going to change once the dragon gets taken over, and then we're going to be up 2 dragons on the side of TV.
And that is exactly what Jinx needs to get back into this game. That's a lot of gold in her pocket, and that team fight showed exactly what I was talking about with the Lulu Morgana peel. She was not touched because of that. No CC, good shielding. And that was textbook how those 3 champions were supposed to fight.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. She didn't have to blow her flash. So if they do end up trying to, keep their foot on the gas on the side of Spear, she still has that tool as well. So honestly, Lulu ult's already back up. Galio's halfway there. They're almost ready to just completely reset. And I don't know if that's something Spear's going to be able to do, as long as they don't get caught like that again.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about Jinx's pickup? It looks like she's going for the Phantom Dancer over a Rudan / Rapid Fire Cannon. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's all right here. Mostly just because like the her biggest thing is just not being caught. So anything that's gonna add to that is gonna be good. You could, if you were just more confident in your ability to like macroly play and make sure your positioning is all right. I would recommend going for a higher damage item. But if it's just something that's not there yet, I think this is an absolutely a fine of a pickup to grab.
Alrighty. And with that, it looks like both teams are going to be playing a slight neutral, looking to set up vision for potentially Baron, looking to push side waves to potentially get side towers. It is going to be Galio and Mordekaiser kind of fending each other off in the bot lane. Bot tower is already gone. So Galio's job is only to make sure Mordekaiser doesn't get a freebie. And for both sides, it is going to be the Rift Herald, and I believe that Rift Herald was dropped for it was going off cooldown pretty shortly, so it is going to be dropped into the mid lane, looking to be stopped by Yuumi. Won't get too much out of that. It will be stopped, it will be taken down as Galio goes for the engage under tower onto Mordekaiser. It is going to take a little bit of damage and is going to get out alive, actually, as all four, or not all four, but four members of Team Spear are going to go down into the bot lane and pick up a free statue.
But they're moving to Baron right now.
Absolutely, and Blue Team's response to that, like I said, the responses this game have been very well done. Where they invest their resources on one side of the map, they've been investing the opposite resources in the other side of the map. And it is going to be Mordekaiser with the TP coming to respond to this. It's Hecarim coming in as a fast horse, looking to jump into this pit and start a 2v4, forcing the ulti onto Jinx, getting some damage out. It is going to be Mordekaiser ulting the Jinx in, and Jinx is kiting away. And definitely very well kited as well, as Alistair cannot do anything to respond to that. He's going to be throwing rockets in the background. Syndra now in a world of trouble. And Morgana absolutely gets demolished. That is going to be ultimately, after all of that fighting, a 1-for-1.
Okay, I don't even know where to begin on what just happened in the last like 3 minutes. Okay, so I don't know. We really wanted that bottom tower so badly that we wanted to burn all those resources on Civillock, even though he's tanky. That we were literally just. It seemed like they weren't on the same page. Like half of them realized, okay, let's not do this, and then we saw the Alistair going like, well, it's too late. I'm already here, guys. We have to do this. And then I really like that YUBI just went, all right, well, if that's what they're doing, let's go ahead and take Baron. I was really worried about that, but then I saw Orphic with the 5-head play coming off back on the TP on their side, so that was really cool. But then once the fight broke out once again, I don't know what the play was from anybody. I only imagine that comms were absolute chaos. But ultimately, trading the Morgana for, I don't remember who went down. I think it was Brian?
It was Syndra, or in that team fight, Syndra. It was going to be Syndra and Morgana who went down.
Yeah, that was it. I was confused because the Syndra ulted Freelancer Malphite there, and I felt like Jeff God Gamer was about to miss position, so I would have more went for that. And then because you already committed so far forward, that's when they got caught by the Morgana binding and ended up trading unevenly.
Definitely, and my eyes on these team fights are going to be on the Jinx at all times. Despite being in the Mordekaiser ulted, previously had a Lulu ult on it and kited that fight perfectly, avoiding every ability. Did have to expend a flash as Morgana is going to be Syndra ulted, as well as Syndra stun. The Alistair is actually going to be in the middle of the fray, is going to take a lot of damage. Might go down as he is going to take one more rocket, and that's Mordekaiser in the fight again. There goes Jinx. She might need to get a QSS because Mordekaiser is going to flash on her, force the Gale Force the other way. Is going to take a lot of damage. Jeff God Gamer is in a world of hurt as Malphite's in the back line, peeling the other team off of her. And it is going to be Galio getting a knockup. Sivir is actually going to be the target now, as Hecarim is going to pick up a free statue, and that is going to be Syndra walking in, throwing one more ability. Is going to walk onto the Morgana or a W and die for that, as well as Hecarim going down in the front. Syndra with a little bit of a misplay in that, as well as a very well played fight once again from Team Yuumi, as you see from the start.
Yeah, it seemed like they picked the fight here, but Sivir wasn't quite ready, so they tried to disengage, making Oribi burn all of his ult, so they're still waiting. Hecarim's just waiting for positioning to push R. Sivir's like, oh, we have to do something. Meanwhile, all the CC's been used, so Jeff God Gamer is about to lose all the pressure right here, and then now is where he pops off. He's almost dead, and he just comes back with critting down, takes out Orphic, now moves into here. I really like his positioning. He doesn't overcommit, he just plays back. I think it could have been dangerous there if Heckard clicked on him, maybe a misclick, but then right here is where it all works out.
Very unfortunate positioning from the Syndra is going to take a lot of damage from one tick of that W. Was not expecting, apparently was not expecting all that damage to come out, but it was very well played from Team YUBI, and they are going to pick up their third dragon off of that. It's going to be 2 Mountain Drakes. That is a beefy team.
Yeah, and I was a little bit worried in the draft as far as like Spear's DPS output in general. So even these Mountain Dragons coming through is also just going to make that even more difficult. Just the biggest thing I'm really seeing that's causing this gap is just like a lack of communication on Team Spear, where they're all not on the same page, and you're seeing that in the plays where half of them are committed and half of them are not. As I think, even though YUBI has made misplays, they're all just on the same page. That they're all just committed to it, so it works out because the other team's not committing.
And that, I feel like, attributes to their team comp of focusing on one carry specifically. And that, in this case, would be the Jinx. They don't have to do too much in team fights except for peel the Jinx, which obviously there is a few more, workarounds in a team fight to make that happen. But ultimately, I feel like the page they're on has been to make sure this Jinx is safe, as she does pick up a QSS. That is going to help her for the Mordekaiser, as well as for other things that potentially could catch her out.
Yeah, I think that's, in my head, this is almost like GG. Jinx has got super far ahead. She's got the QSS to avoid these other things. A Morgana spell shield, a Lulu ult. This is like, I don't know. I feel like playing AD carry the last year and a half makes me just not want to play the role. But if my whole team is gonna be like, sure, I'll give you Lulu ult Morgana, and then I'll just have a top laner push R, that sounds like amazing. Now I maybe want to play the role again, but I don't know.
It's definitely dependent, and in a 5v5 team scenario, definitely can work a lot more, constructively than in solo queue, as it looks like it is thought to be an engage there, but it is going to be called off. It is going to be Team Spear pushing the waves into Team YUBI, pushing them back, and we have a neutral for potentially a Baron fight, as red team is going to get some vision into the jungle. Ooh, good Malphite all coming onto the Mordekaiser. They're going to get almost one shot. Is going to pull the Malphite in to stop taking damage, and this is going to be Syndra one-shotting the Morgana, but going down consecutively as Jeff God Gamer forced the Gale Force out of there. And Jeff God Gamer is just going to do his job to pump out as much damage as he can, while Galio is going to be taking some damage and Lulu is going to be going down. Good flash from the Alistar is going to force the flash out of Jeff God Gamer, and Jeff God Gamer is going to get a good ultimate onto the Hecarim, and they are going to trade it out. It is 3 for 2 in the favor of Team Spear. However, it is not all over yet, as the jungler is still alive. So they're going to look to start the Baron on this. How will you respond? Are they going to take the mid tower, or are they going to maybe get a little bit of poke into this pit? It looks like Galio is looking to do some trading. Going to throw a Q over the wall, do a lot of damage to the Mordekaiser. He is going to be brought a little bit low, as Hecarim is going to engage onto the Galio. He is going to go down. It wasn't onto Jeff God Gamer, so Jeff God Gamer is just going to run a trend on him, as Sivir is into the fight now. Sivir is doing a lot of damage, as the TP from Syndra is going to interrupt the Galio E. The Galio E is not going to land onto the Sivir, and that is going to be Sivir returning a double kill on the other side. Very, very, I like how that was thought out, but it was executed differently than it's intended. Dira.
You're just gonna throw that to me? Okay, yeah, sure. Dude, that was nuts. So just going for the hero play on the side of Jeff and Civlock here. I really like the idea. I feel like Civlock should have been in front. The fact that Jeff God Gamer is literally just like, heck, I'm like, okay, sure, I'll play this game, and then he just stepped up and tried to take her out, and then just chaos between the TPs that came through. I'm not sure. I'm just glad, I guess, that the Baron didn't get taken. So our hands taking that. We still got that up as an objective and an alternative to the Dragon that's going to be coming up here in a minute, especially for Team YUBI on their Soul Point is going to be really crucial. I think the biggest thing that decided the last team fight, not the Baron fight, the fight that happened before that, was that they finally got into a good positioning on the side of the Team Spear, where they had to force Jeff God Gamer to front to back, and Alistar and Hecarim both still had all their utilities. So Alistar had R, wasn't burning it, trying to disengage, so he had it for the fight. So Jinx had her rockets, but it's literally just throwing noodles at a wall. It's gonna take him until Alistar all kills.
Flash ulti coming from the Mordekaiser, looking to lock up this Lulu, is going to expend the utility for the Dragon fight, hoping to get some of the Jinx's peel out of the fight before it even begins. This Jinx is going to Gale Force forward, is going to get Hecarim ulted, but is also going to get pushed back to safety. A good ulti from Galio to get in that fight, and it is going to be Jinx pumping out some damage in the backline. Alistair jumping on. Alistair is going to go down himself. This is going to be a lot of damage coming out from both sides, as it looks like Jeff God Gamer is going to get a good response to that CC onto the red team, but Syndra is going to take the Malphite down, and that is ultimately going to be a 2-for-2 trade. It is going to be Jinx still up, and Sivir wants to pump out damage herself, but she herself is going to drop a little bit low, is going to lifesteal onto that dragon, and it is not going to be enough. Health bars are low. Health bars are indeed looking a little rough, as the Mountain Drake is going to go into Syndra's pocket and onto the red team's lives.
All right, stalling out the game a little bit longer, so Yubi's not going to get their soul point, and we're going to keep this rolling. I'm honestly not even sure where this game is going anymore. It's still tied in kills, basically the same. Gold, slightly up, 4K on the side of Team Spear. All items are coming on, and it's honestly just like, I don't know even how to describe these team fights. They're just happening over such a wide variety of space that it's almost like a fiesta. I don't know what's just going on at this carousel, what's going on over at this tent. There's so many things happening and teams are dropping left and right that it's honestly just who is making a bigger mistake.
I gotta give some credit to the Sivir. The Sivir ricochets have been doing a lot of damage in these fights, and it is going to contest the Jinx damage a lot. I like how I think the general consensus is, yes, there's an objective still up. We're gonna get some action soon.
Honestly, and Sivir right now at a 300 CS, 33 minutes into the game, 10-2 and 7 with a 700 gold bounty. So people do play Sivir, and she's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know.
I love that champion, especially right now. I feel like that champion right now is definitely, especially the crit build as opposed to the lethality build, is very underrated. I personally enjoy going the crit attack speed build a lot more. It's more fun, but that's just because I'm an AD carry player myself, so I have a little bias.
Oh, okay. First you tell me you're a Fizz main, and now you're an AD carry player. It's all right.
No, that's what I was saying before. I am a Fizz main, but I just play AD, so you know. I cannot deny the fact that he is my highest champion.
It's all right.
I can't hide it.
So anyway,
yes.
Hi, Lishi is honestly putting on a fantastic performance today, especially being a sub. So I don't know if they're reconsidering maybe putting him on, or maybe that, you know, when Linsanity comes back, that they're just about to blow our minds and absolutely pop off. But honestly, I thought this sub would make more of an impact, but they're putting in the work.
Definitely so. Is both teams not really pulling the trigger on the Baron just yet, just getting vision and looking to set up a neutral coming on as they want to get this first mid tower 35 minutes into the game. This tower has lived a long life, but that life is now expended. Sivir going to take a little bit of poke from the rockets, but it's not going to be enough to start anything, as Mordekaiser coming out to the side is going to ulti the Malphite. Hecarim coming in to push the Galio back, and it is going to be Jeff God Gamer and Lulu taking a lot of damage in the back line. It is going to be Malphite with the ulti on the Syndra, or going to secure that kill. Galio with the one-man show coming onto the Cow. The Cow is going to go down. Mordekaiser in the front line looking to take down Jeff God Gamer. It is going to be a mistimed W from the Jinx, but a good rocket over a good snap trap is going to be enough to ward the Sivir away. And that is going to be the end of the fight. And even 2-2 trade, these fights could not be any more narrow.
Yeah, I mean, I see the reasoning here. I saw Team Spear's eyes light up as soon as that Orifig baited out the Morgana spell shield. They're like, okay, that's down. Let's go now. And then literally just Big Brain and Uriri just ran at them as fast as they could. And it then became a game of, can we keep Jeff safe? And they did. So Jeff didn't go down, so it wasn't totally like worth it overall. But while all this chaos is happening, like they're literally just zone using and just delaying it, so that's still also stopping the Jinx DPS, and it's leaving pretty much a high Unleash to do the same thing on the opposite side with just more time, so it's equaling out in these teams.
We're over here with a banger of a game, and I love these kinds of games because they're always the most action-packed, and this is the point of the game where everyone's champions are online, and we get to see them used to their full potential. We get a TP coming in from the Galileo, from the top side. It's going to be a double stun coming up onto Utility and Lulu. It's going to be the flash from the Mordekaiser, ulting the Lulu into the Shadow Realm. Is it going to be enough to take him down? It is. This Hecarim is going to jump onto the backline. QSS by the Jinx is going to get stunned up by the Syndra. Malphite in the backline to knock up the back or knock out their backline. He is going to go down to the Sivir, and it's going to be Sivir pumping out infinite amount of damage. Is going to take 3 down, and heck the dragon. We are going to send Hecarim there. I feel like they should have gone straight to the Baron. It looked like they were going to, but they kind of walked off of it. As they are going to secure themselves the 3rd dragon. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a maximum dragon game. I have never seen that in such a long time.
It's been ages, but we can finally go home. We've seen it. We're gonna see which team wants this soul the most. Meanwhile, going for a double play. I don't know if Blue Side is really aware of what's happening. It doesn't look like it. That they're on the move to also secure a Baron. So this might be the nail in the coffin, but it's such a great match. I'm loving every moment of this. Oh my lord.
Oh my lord. It's so fun to watch both teams be online and fighting from as even as it can get. But the Baron and the one team fight from Team Spear is going to give them a nice 6k gold lead. Let's see what Team Spear can do with this advantage. 40 minutes in the game, still as even as can be. However, it is going to be Team Spear with a full item Sivir and a beefy front line with 2 Mountain Drakes on it to potentially put this game to rest. Let's see what happens as we are looking to go into full neutral. It is going to be Jinx going for the potentially Lord Dominic's. Yes, there it is. And so once you finish the Mercurial Scimitar, that will be a full build Jinx as well to match the full build Sivir. I consider this to be full build already for Jinx just because Mercurial Scimitar, I refuse to believe is an item right now.
Okay. Strong opinion, I see.
It is a strong opinion. However, that item, undoubtedly did get nerfed a lot, losing its lifesteal. It is gaining a little bit of crit though, so potentially could top off the 100% crit here, as both teams are looking to potentially get a couple more fights in. Let's hope, as Team Spear is going to siege down the bot lane, secure that inner tower, and it is potentially going to be the start of a dive. Just going to push these minions under tower, get some damage on it. What will Team YUBI do?
Honestly, I think it's that Spear has kind of figured out the hack here, and that's that if Orphic can ult Brian Sang our Lulu here, then it literally just takes away a huge amount of utility and survivability for Jeff, and automatic makes it a 4v5. So, I mean, you don't want to push on anyone else, really, because you won't kill them that fast, or Jinx is just going to, QSS it away. So, I think I would keep doing that. Anytime that I can see the Lulu, I think is just going to make Spear win the team fight. Anytime you just push R on her.
And I meant to talk about this a long time ago, but the Immortal Shield Bow pickup on Sivir over the Gale Force, I feel like Gale Force this game, having the Morgana spell shield, having many things to escape the Malphite ultimate, because you can't spell shield everything as Sivir. It's always nice to have that second sort of insurance. And yes, the Lifeline passive actually does give Sivir a little bit of hack. Double Lifesteal is a very interesting choice coming out from the Sivir. What do you think about that?
I think, like you said, it's a perfectly good choice. I think it's particularly in the context of our heroic league. These players being plat and under. We're not going to see double lift here. They're not going to have perfect positioning. And being aware of that and picking up items, like again when we talked about like the Phantom Dancer pickup, if you're aware that these are your weaknesses, absolutely cover them if you can.
I like that.
You won't be optimal, but absolutely do that. Because again, I mean, I'm not saying that these 80 carries aren't performing. They absolutely are. They're doing work. I imagine as soon as we pull up that DPS charts, our minds are going to get blown as these 2 lions are just flying across the screen. But like, it's just it's good. I'm liking what I'm seeing, except for this. Orphic, you're scaring me here. Don't do it.
As it's going to be Malphite walking right into Orphic's face. Going to be responded with the Galileo ult. The Hecarim is going to be knocked up as he does jump in. It is going to be Lulu going down immediately. The Jeff God Gamer and Sivir are online, and they are both pumping out damage. It is going to be Surgeon popping out the Zanya's. Jinx on the wrong side of the map is going to get knocked away by the Alistar, but it is not going to be enough. Jeff God Gamer is looking to kite this horse, and yeah, kite this horse he will, as Jinx is going to get a perfect team fight going. A 2 for 4 currently, as Mordekaiser is just scrambling to get out of that fight alive.
Okay, knees weak, arms are heavy, mom spaghetti was what we saw here. I think there was this mad scramble because they saw again that Jinx is alone, but no spell shields, anything to take it away. Literally QSS comes through to knock that CS off, and then Alistar makes a misplay here, knocks her away, not stopping her, so she's just getting more range to kite out. And just the flip happened as far as Unleashy did not get that same kind of comfortability. They were literally just mad dashing on the Jinx. So High Unleashy has that nice, spell shield one time, but after that, I don't know what to tell you. We all really like you, and now you're going to die.
And that Sivir at the beginning of the fight did not get to play League of Legends that fight.
Yeah, absolutely, not even fair. That's that part of the AD carry role where I'm sorry you messed up, and that might be the game. That's how that role works.
That is how that role works. I know that all too well. As Orphic coming to defend the base is going to do a little bit of damage to Jeff. Going to give him a little bit of a scare, but it is not going to be enough. There's still 10 seconds on the timer. They can get a couple more towers here. Does the recall that teleport?
I thought Freelancer just AFK'd for a minute because I just saw him push S. I'm like,
that is indeed going to be the end of the game. That one team fight decided it all. Jeff God Gamer with perfect, almost perfect kiting in that fight is going to give them the win.
Wow. An absolute fantastic game. So many things going on all parts of the map. All players performed incredibly well. I mean, even though you lost that game, that's absolutely a game to be proud of. And one of the things I love about this tournament format is that it's so hard and hated that now, even though you had this loss today and you feel exhausted, you have to get ready for tomorrow, because this is not a one-day match. This is a 14-week format. So even though you lost today, that's not the end of the tournament, and you are going to face these guys again in a few weeks.
And let's look at these lines that you were talking about. Look at that Jinx's damage that she pumped out in this fight. It is going to be a huge line. No one on her team could come close. Mordecai is rivaling her, but it was actually the Sivir who will come in third here, did not rival the Jinx at all this game. It is going to be Jinx just taking the cake and eating it too. You see this?
Yeah, I mean, from what you can tell, again, I mean, if you've got teammates that are literally just pushing R and making sure you're not hit by spell shield, or being hit by CC with the spell shield, I mean, again, the spell shield on Sivir is nice, but you get one, and you're not having these people just make their whole mission being you not die. Their mission was like, actually, good luck, Lishi. We're going to dive that bag. So I feel like it was just a lot harder for Sivir to get that DPS out. Not to mention, we did hit that 45 almost minute mark with Jinx. So all of her 6 items just literally critting down like a madman. It's, I don't know, close to impossible to keep with that kind of DPS.
Alrighty, and with that, that will conclude Game 3 of the Heroic League. Stay tuned for an interview with our winners. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. See you then.
Folks, welcome back. This is Chris Edgeworth again at the interview desk with our victorious Jeff God Gamer from Team Universal Basic Income. Sorry about that. How are you feeling after that game?
I'm a little tired. It was a bit of a stressful game.
Yeah, I mean, it really was kind of back and forth seesawing. It was tied up almost right up until the very last fight. Going into that game, what was your plan? You know, you had the draft that was basically set up, tailor-made to keep you protected. So what was the plan going in?
Yeah, so basically we actually expected to play against Linsanity today instead of Leshy. And we knew that Linsanity wanted to play a Jinx, so we decided to pick it away from them. And personally, I'm not super good at Jinx compared to like my other champions. So we decided to draft a hyper carry comp around Jinx, and we just played it out.
Right on. So going in with that plan of playing a character that you're not super comfortable on, and knowing that you're the champion that's got to carry in this comp with everything picked all the way up and down to support you. What was it like in playing that early game out? Were you stressed at all? Worried that you weren't going to be able to get the comp online if they were able to press the early advantage?
I think early game we felt reasonably fine. I think we had control of lane most of the time, which felt pretty nice. The rest of our map started losing a little bit, and Hecarim started snowballing the game, which was a little spooky. We knew that Malphite couldn't really ever side lane into Mordekaiser with his build, but overall we still knew that we just would keep scaling and would eventually, have a fight like the one at the end that we could just win the game off of.
Yeah, I think that my key takeaway from the comp you put together is that while you really knew how to operate your composition in most fights, and that bore out, but it took them a while to sort of figure out how to try and pick your comp apart, and that they got it like once or twice towards the end of the game where they really were able to shut down by picking the Lulu early. But you guys really had a clear game plan. I think you executed well on that. So, I mean, it was tied up all the way until the end, but then you clutched in the last fight. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so we expected to push out mid to start gaining control around Dragon when basically we saw Mordekaiser, and we mildly expected him to be baiting us into their team. So we started to peel back, and fortunately we were right because they ran Sivir Hecarim at us and dove our backline, which fortunately I think Sivir walked a little too close and was able to get picked off by Morgana Q and Binding, which gave me the first reset. And then I was able to basically dodge most of Syndra's abilities, including flashing her Q that would have killed me. And then I was able to snipe her with my ulti to get another reset and use that to kite Hecarim. We were able to win the game off that.
Yeah, you had some fantastic mechanics in that last fight. It was really awesome watching you kite that out at the end by their wolves. Thanks for coming in for an interview, Jeff God Gamer. Any final thoughts before we take it away?
Yeah, as a message from Team YUBI to one special person in our hearts, we'd like to thank Uncle Lit for doing his best and always giving us encouragement. The father of Civil Lock, he's really helping us out these days.
All right, well, excellent. Much respect there. And with that, folks, we're going to take a quick intermission before we get back with Game 4. So don't touch that browser. We'll be right back.